So you need to have an idea what all taxes are subsumed under this goods and service tax. So this is a very, very important point regarding goods and service tax. Regarding goods and service tax from the sender, you know that sender means you take this union list. In the union list, the union excise duty, service tax, the two major indirect taxes will be subsumed. Service tax and union excise duty will be, and there are additional taxes like, see, additional excise duty, etc. Small tax will be subsumed under it. See, there are other taxes also, but these are the two major indirect tax which will be subsumed under goods and service tax. At the state level, it is the sales tax or VAT will also be subsumed. Under the goods and service tax, and then other minor taxes are there like entertainment tax, like that. But I am telling you, if UPSC asks a question, okay, there will be so many taxes, but be very thorough. If you are thorough that these three taxes are there under GST, you will be in a position to answer this question. You can eliminate and you will get the answer. So be very thorough. And regarding the customs duty, be very clear with it. Regarding the customs duty, that it is a proposal still. See, the government have not directly talked about integrating customs duty to GST, but it will come under a concept which I will discuss under integrate. There is a proposal to put customs duty under a tax what is called as integrated GST. We'll discuss that. So for time being, we'll keep away customs duty. That will be like that. But for your understanding, this three major taxes. There are other taxes also. There are other taxes like octroi in relation to the state level, which has been given to the state. Entertainment tax are included under which were under the state is also added, but they are minor taxes. The minor taxes means the tax collection compared to these taxes are very less. So these are the three major taxes which will be subsumed under GST. So what will happen in relation to GST is, so all these taxes, now we will not hear, after 1st July, we will not hear the term service tax. We will not hear the term union excise duty. You will not hear the term sales tax. Instead of that, what you will hear? You will hear only goods and service tax. Now, there is a problem. There is a constitutional logjam will happen. So I am talking about, I am just telling how GST has evolved. As per our constitution, that this the power to the union excise duty is under which list? As the term suggests, it is under union list. Service tax is also under union list. Now, if any item is there under the union list, who can levy that tax? Only, see, it's very simple. See the items in the list. If it is in the union list, only sender can levy or impose a tax. Levy means who can impose a tax? Only the sender can impose the tax. And regarding sales tax, since it is in the state list, who can impose sales tax? State government. Now see, already it is there, union list, these taxes are there, state list, these taxes are there. Now it has been shared with the government. Actually this is what our finance minister talked about regarding shared sovereignty between the sender and states in relation to indirect taxes. Shared sovereignty in relation to, or instead of share, or pooled sovereignty. This term he used means sovereignty is pooled between center and state. Why what is called as pooled? See, earlier it was with center only. Some taxes was only with center. That taxation power was only with center. It is that power has been pooled or with shared with state. State exclusive power is shared with the sender. So this term is also very important. What is called as pooled sovereignty. With GST, the center and state have pooled sovereignty between the center and state in relation to what? Only to one area only. What is that? In relation to indirect taxes. Don't get confused. This pooled sovereignty is only in relation to GST. GST is what? Indirect, in relation to indirect tax only. Nothing else. In relation to indirect tax only. So this, to tackle this constitutional issue, we need to amend our constitution. That will be giving, so to ensure that the state, to give the power of the state, to give state the power to impose service tax. Similarly, for the center to impose sales tax, we have to amend our constitution. For that, we have brought a constitutional amendment bill and it has passed as 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. If there is a question, Constitution 101st Amendment Act 2016 related with goods and services. This amendment exclusively deals with only one thing, that is goods and service tax. What this constitutional amendment have done is, it has removed certain items from the, see, it has made so many changes, but for you few changes are very important. One of those changes, that from the union list two items were omitted, that is in relation to excise duty and in relation to service tax. Then at the state level also, especially in relation to sales tax, it was omitted. So they will not ask you what all items are omitted. So you be very clear, these items were omitted from the union list and states list. Now since it is omitted from the state list and from the union list, now that problem is over. It's not the exclusive domain of state or the exclusive domain of the center. That problem is solved. Now the problem is, see, in India there used to be federal disputes. Federal disputes means dispute between the center and state in relation to their respective power. Now again the problem is that who will decide in relation to the new taxes? That's a very important, what can be done. Now we have decided, okay, we will have one tax, one common tax, indirect tax, what is called as goods and service tax, by integrating all these major tax. Okay, fine, agreed. Now who will take decisions about these taxes? How these tax can be introduced? So many things have to be made. Try to understand that in relation to the state, giving up sales tax, that power to shared with the center means it is giving up an exclusive power. See, with sales tax only majority of the state revenue is collected mainly. Many of the state government collect majority of their tax through which tax only? Sales tax only. So that is being given to the center. Similarly, state government don't have any idea about service tax, because till now none of the state officials is aware about what to do with the service tax. They are not trained, they are not aware about it. So many technical and administrative things also have to be parallelly done once this integrated tax come into the picture, or this common tax or come into the picture. For that, so many issues have to be dealt in relation to, and again, see, these taxes having different interest rate, these taxes have different tax rate. Service tax presently is 15%. Excise duty is different. Sales tax is different. Now what about what tax we will impose? That another question. So all these decisions regarding GST in relation to the tax structure, regarding the threshold limit. Threshold limit means from where this GST has to be imposed. This word is very important. What is called as threshold limit? All the terms, be aware of it. These terms are very important. What is called as threshold. So there is a threshold limit in relation to GST. So threshold limit means to whom this GST has to be imposed. Should we impose to everyone who do sale or who do supply? So this term is very important. Okay, instead of using the word sale, it is in GST, it is used the word supply of goods and services. One person supplying to other. When supply means giving to other, it's basically sale only, nothing else. But don't get confused, supply of goods. And so when one person supply goods or services, the issue is that so when you are going to impose GST on every producer of goods and services, so should we impose on every producer and service, or shall we shall we keep away certain section, especially with small business retailers? That is what is called as threshold limit is all about. So what it decided is that, especially for retailers, those who are having a turnover of 20 lakh and less is kept out of GST. So there are two, the threshold limit is categorized into two, for the, especially for the hilly states, hilly area states. Threshold limit is different, and for the normal states like Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra, not plain states. See, hilly states, you know that the business activity is very less. We are already given special concession for hilly and area states in relation to taxation or tax exemption like that. So normally for the normal states, the threshold limit is 20 lakh. It means that any business who are having a turnover of less than 20 lakh, annual turnover of less than 20 lakh will not come under GST net. So businesses with the 20 lakh above turnover will come under goods and service tax net, and similar at the hill areas it is 10 lakh. So it is lesser. Just have it. So regarding the threshold limit, so who will decide? Who will decide the threshold? I am parallelly discussing. It's like I am discussing that these are the issues. I am also discussing how this problem have to be tackled. So what I am trying to say is, in relation to when, if GST have to come into force, or GST, so many things has to be decided. That is, one, in relation to the what should be the tax structure, because there is a lot of problem in relation to deciding the tax structure. What should be the threshold limit? Should we exempt? Exemption means, should we let these certain items be like earlier? There are certain taxes or certain items are exempted from the goods and service tax. Exempted means it's not that we will be imposing tax, rather we will not be imposing goods and service tax on them, they will be imposed the earlier taxes. Exemption means exemption from GST, not from tax. Don't get confused. Exemption, so GST will not be imposed on certain items. Instead of that, the earlier taxes which they are paying, that same earlier tax will continue. So a lot of decision regarding these has to be decided. So who will decide? That again, Constitution in this amendment it has decided. That again, this is very, very, very important for you. What is called as GST Council. So this, all these issues regarding GST, all the issues regarding GST will be decided by a constitutional body called as GST Council. So GST Council is a constitutional body. So if I say GST Council is a constitutional body, it means that it is mentioned in the Constitution. So who have introduced this GST Council under, means who have put the GST Council into the Constitution? Who have done that? 101st Constitutional Amendment Act have done, I told you, done so many things. One, what they have done is, they have removed certain items from the state list and union list. That is very simple, these items they have removed. Second thing is that they have inserted a new body or new council, what is called as, and with a new article, detailed explanation has been given. So those who are not having, what you can do is that you can just simply download 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, you will get all these provisions. But just what I am telling, that is sufficient for you.